Our planet is in a state of flux. Temperatures are climbing, ice caps are melting, and weather patterns are becoming increasingly erratic. These shifts, driven by human activity, signal a changing climate, a change that carries profound implications for the future. Understanding these changes is not about doom and gloom, it's about arming ourselves with knowledge. Knowledge is power, and it's essential for adapting to the challenges ahead and shaping a more sustainable future. The scientific evidence is undeniable. The Earth's average temperature has risen significantly since the Industrial Revolution, primarily due to the burning of fossil fuels. This increase, while seemingly small, has already begun to disrupt the delicate balance of our planet's intricate systems. The consequences of our actions are becoming increasingly evident in the form of extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and disruptions to ecosystems. It's a stark reminder that we live on a planet with interconnected systems where changes in one area ripple outward, impacting all living things. The planet is running a fever. Since the late 19th century, the Earth's average temperature has risen by roughly 1 degree Celsius, about 2 degrees Fahrenheit. This might not seem like much, but in the context of our planet's climate system, even small changes can have significant consequences. Scientists project that global temperatures could rise by another 1.5 to 4.5 degrees Celsius. That's 2.7 to 8.1 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of this century. The magnitude of this increase will depend largely on our actions in the coming years. The consequences of a warming planet are far-reaching. Even a few degrees of warming can lead to more frequent and intense heat waves, droughts and wildfires. These events can have devastating impacts on human health, agriculture and infrastructure. As temperatures rise, so does the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events. Heat waves are becoming more common and severe, leading to heat stroke, dehydration and other heat-related illnesses. Droughts are intensifying, causing water shortages, crop failures and wildfires. Hurricanes fueled by warmer ocean waters are becoming more powerful and destructive. Flooding is increasing in coastal areas due to sea level rise and more intense rainfall. These events are not isolated incidents. They are interconnected symptoms of a changing climate. The increasing frequency and severity of extreme weather events are clear indicators that our climate is changing at an unprecedented rate. The impacts of these events are being felt around the world, disrupting lives, communities and economies. As global temperatures rise, so do sea levels. This is due to two primary factors: the melting of glaciers and ice sheets, which adds more water to the oceans, and the thermal expansion of seawater as it warms. Rising sea levels pose a significant threat to coastal communities around the world. As sea levels continue to rise, coastal erosion will worsen and flooding will become more frequent and severe. Millions of people living in low-lying coastal areas are at risk of displacement, and critical infrastructure, including homes, businesses and transportation systems, is in jeopardy. The economic and social costs of rising sea levels are projected to be substantial. Adapting to this change will require significant investment in coastal protection measures, as well as difficult decisions about relocation and retreat. Section 5. Oceans in peril. The world's oceans are not immune to the impacts of climate change. In fact, they are on the front lines. As the oceans absorb increasing amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, they are becoming more acidic. This process, known as ocean acidification, has harmful effects on marine life, particularly organisms with shells and skeletons such as corals, oysters and some types of plankton. Ocean warming also poses a threat to marine ecosystems. As water temperatures rise, it can lead to coral bleaching, a phenomenon in which corals expel the symbiotic algae that live in their tissues, causing them to turn white and making them more susceptible to disease. The combined effects of ocean acidification and warming are already having a significant impact on marine biodiversity. Coral reefs, often referred to as the rainforests of the sea due to their incredible biodiversity, are particularly vulnerable. The loss of these vital ecosystems would have ripple effects throughout the marine food web. Section 6. A threat to our health. Climate change is not just an environmental issue, it's a public health issue. The changing climate is already impacting human health in numerous ways, and these impacts are expected to worsen in the coming decades. Extreme heat events are becoming more frequent and severe, leading to an increase in heat stroke, dehydration, and other heat-related illnesses. Climate change is also contributing to the spread of infectious diseases, as warmer temperatures and changes in precipitation patterns create more favorable conditions for disease-carrying insects and rodents. Air pollution, which is exacerbated by climate change, is a major public health concern. The burning of fossil fuels, a major contributor to climate change, releases harmful pollutants into the atmosphere, leading to respiratory problems, cardiovascular disease, and other health issues. Section 7. Societies at risk. The impacts of climate change are not evenly distributed. Climate change acts as a threat multiplier, exacerbating existing inequalities and disproportionately impacting the poorest and most vulnerable populations. Developing countries, particularly those located in low-lying coastal areas, are often hit hardest by the effects of climate change. Climate change can lead to displacement, as people are forced to flee their homes due to sea level rise, extreme weather events, or drought. This displacement can lead to social and political instability, as well as increased competition for resources. The economic costs of climate change are also substantial. Extreme weather events can cause billions of dollars in damage to infrastructure, crops, and property. Climate change can also disrupt supply chains, leading to economic instability. Section 8. A call for action. The challenges posed by climate change are significant, but they are not insurmountable. We have the knowledge, the tools, and the resources to address this crisis. What we need now is the collective will to act. Addressing climate change requires a multifaceted approach that includes both mitigation and adaptation. Mitigation involves reducing greenhouse gas emissions primarily through a transition to cleaner sources of energy such as solar, wind, and geothermal. It also involves increasing energy efficiency, reducing deforestation, and promoting sustainable land use practices. Adaptation involves adjusting to the changes that are already happening and preparing for future impacts. This includes investing in seawalls and other coastal protection measures, developing drought-resistant crops, and improving early warning systems for extreme weather events. Section 9. A future we can shape. The future of our climate is not predetermined. The choices we make today will determine the course of climate change and its impacts on future generations. While the challenges are significant, there is still time to act. By embracing the challenge of climate change, we have the opportunity to create a more sustainable, equitable, and just world. We can create a future powered by clean energy, where transportation is sustainable and where cities are designed to be resilient to the impacts of climate change. We can build a world where we live in harmony with nature, where biodiversity is protected, and where everyone has access to clean air, water, and food. The future is ours to create. Let's choose hope, let's choose action, and let's build a better future for all.